Another area where we see lots of questions about braces, Invisalign, wisdom teeth, jaw surgery, and occasional neck anomaly like a cervical rib. So probably the hottest topic here, Arthur, is braces and Invisalign. A typical question is, my child is in active orthodontic treatment. Can they still get a Service Academy appointment or ROTC scholarship? According to the current DoDE, how does DoDMERB look at active orthodontic appliances versus simple retainers?
So we'll back up a bit to the standard in the DoDE, which basically says that current orthodontic treatment is disqualifying unless the orthodontist attests that treatment will be done prior to coming on to active duty, or retainers are the removable or the permanent kind. And I paraphrase there a little bit. So how does DoDMERB deal with this? Let me mention this first. What I don't want to happen is this. It's October of the senior year. The applicant has braces, and then they use needle nose pliers to rip off the braces because he's got a DoDMERB exam in 1 week. It's still October of senior year, so you've got several months before you come on to active duty. So here's what DoDMERB does. If the DoDMERB exam reveals that the applicant has braces on or is undergoing Invisalign treatment, the case manager will go to the algorithm or the protocol that is set up for the situation. And they'll have the applicant take the orthodontic questionnaire to their orthodontist to complete. And once the questionnaire is done, then the form is returned to the case manager for review. And one of the questions that needs to be answered is, when will the active treatment be completed? Now, if the treatment will be done before 1 June as attested by the orthodontist, again, before 1 June, then it's not a disqualification. The case manager, if all else is good on that exam, the case manager can qualify that exam at his level. It doesn't have to go to any of the physicians. It's not a DQ so long as it's done before 1 June. Now, if the date is 1 June or later, then the case manager will send to a DoDMERB physician review, because remember, only a physician can disqualify an applicant. A case manager can't disqualify an applicant at all. So again, case manager can qualify outright based on algorithms and protocols set up, but they cannot DQ even it's plainly obvious from the DoDE that it's truly a DQ. Only a board certified physician, generally in their third decade of service and with deployment experience, can disqualify an applicant at the DoDMERB level. So let's go back to our scenario. If the questionnaire comes back and the orthodontist says treatment will be done 15 April, for example, then the case manager can qualify because it's before 1 June. If the orthodontist says 15 June, then it'll go to the DoDMERB physician for final adjudication, which will probably be a DQ. So this goes for treatment like Invisalign too. So long as you're in the maintenance part where you're wearing a retainer only in the evening, it's not considered current or it's not considered active. If you were handed trays, Invisalign trays for 10 months, then there's a chance you may be handed another set of trays to wear to kind of fine tune your alignment. But once your orthodontist decides your treatment are at the alignment goal, then you will be given retainers that you will wear only in the evenings while you're asleep. Your treatment is considered done at that point. So the idea here is the service academies do not want kids getting off the bus with braces on. There's no time during the initial training period in the summer to take care of adjust braces. And there's probably not orthodontic care available on post or on base. So they wouldn't be able to get them taken care of if they did have braces on. So why the 1 June cutoff date? Admittedly, this is potentially arbitrary, but there's some logic to it. Technically, applicants don't come on active duty until I Day or R Day, which varies from year to year from Service Academy to Service Academy, which means they can theoretically have braces until that day because they don't raise their right hand until then. But remember, the standard is you must have orthodontic treatment completed prior to swearing in or being on active duty. So DoDMERB contacted all the service academies several years ago and got a consensus that 1 June would be a good cutoff date for the dental appliance standard. It gives some leeway, 3 to 4 weeks for the orthodontist to tweak the treatment a little bit by extending it and still have it done by R Day, by the time I Day or R Day comes along. If you do have an applicant that shows up with I Day or R Day, it's probably going to cause him or her to be a turn back and come back next summer when the treatment is done. And so, for example, if the orthodontist were to say treatment is going to be done 30 May, and so he's qualified, but shows up on our day with the braces, again, that's probably going to be a turn back, and they're going to ask you to come back next summer. There's also an attestation in there by the applicant that says that they understand that the orthodontic treatment must be completed prior to swearing in or beginning active duty.
Okay, great. How about ROTC? They don't have an R day or an I day.
The reason is, as you suggested, is they won't be sworn onto or begin active duty until the spring of their senior year in college, which is over 4 years away if you're a high school senior applying for a scholarship. So they have time to keep their braces on. They will still have to get the orthodontic questionnaire completed by the orthodontist and attest that they understand the standard about having current orthodontic treatment completed prior to swearing in or coming on to active duty. So if they have braces on their senior year in high school and for whatever reason, and this is not normal at all, they still have it as a senior in college, they signed that attestation, when they were going through the DoDMERB exam, that they can't come on active duty if they have braces.
Okay. So have you had cases where the applicant's orthodontist annotated in the questionnaire that the treatment will be done on, say, 1 July, you DQ'd it because it's after 1 June, and then they come back with a new questionnaire with a completion date of 15 May?
Yes, many of those instances. If it happens, then we would reverse the DQ and qualify because the new completion date is before 1 June. We have to take the word of the orthodontist that the treatment plan can change, and the end date is not always written in stone. So it's possible that the orthodontist can make it work where he can shorten the treatment and it still be okay for the applicant. The applicant, as I mentioned before, still attests that he or she understands that the orthodontic treatment will be done prior to swearing in on active duty. So if we qualify them because of the new date and they show up to our day, for example, with braces on, they will probably be a turnback.
Okay. So what is the ideal way for a family to handle orthodontics if their child is aiming for an academy or ROTC? When should they plan to have braces off? And what should an orthodontist letter actually say to help DoDMERB and the waiver authorities?
If your child needs braces or Invisalign, then get them. Talk to the orthodontist and say the hard cutoff date for completion of treatment is 1 June.
What is the ideal way for a family to handle orthodontics if their child is aiming for an academy or ROTC? And when should they plan to have braces off? And what should an orthodontist letter actually say to help DoDMERB and the waiver authorities?
If your child needs braces or Invisalign, then go ahead and get them. Talk to the orthodontist and say the hard cutoff date for completion of treatment is 1 June. Is that possible? Most likely, the orthodontist can come up with a good treatment plan that meets the timeline if it started early enough. And certainly don't end treatment in the fall of the senior year prior to the DoDMERB exam, just because DoDMERB does have a mechanism to qualify the applicant, so long as a treatment plan is done before 1 June.
One last question on this topic, and I know we treated it a little bit before, but is 1 June the line in the sand?
There's a reason why only a physician can disqualify an applicant at the DoDMERB level. Physicians have the training to use clinical judgment, their experience and risk tolerance, and other factors to adjudicate cases that come in front of them. For the most part, the standard is standard. There shouldn't be any deviation from that. This is one of those cases where the DoDMERB physician can tweak things a little bit. Have I qualified an applicant whose orthodontist said that the treatment will be done on 3, 4, 5 June? I have, and here's why. In some cases, this dental issue is the only thing between a fully medically qualified applicant and having to undergo a waiver process. If I can justify qualifying this applicant for being a couple days past the cutoff date, just so he's got a good packet now, and the admissions committee can consider that applicant for an appointment, then I will do that. I don't want to be the only one standing in the way of an applicant fulfilling his or her dream of attending a service academy and serving our country. Now, let's say the applicant is already disqualified for a bona fide diagnosis of a recent history of depression and ACL surgery in the past 10 months. Then there really isn't any reason for me to tweak the cutoff date anymore. The orthodontic treatment issue isn't the only thing standing in the way of a fully medically qualified applicant. There's the other two disqualification issues to deal with. I'll disqualify the current orthodontic treatment that will end, in our example, on 5 June because the waiver authority has to adjudicate the depression and the ACL surgery in the past 12 months anyway. It was about figuring out how to appropriately get to the yes with the applicant. In this example, even if I said qualified on the orthodontic issue, it wouldn't have helped his overall medical qualification because of the two other disqualifying issues.
For the Service Academy, DoDMERB will not DQ as long as orthodontic treatment is completed before 1 June, as attested by the orthodontist. For ROTC, DoDMERB will not DQ as long as the orthodontic treatment is completed by around April, May of the senior year of college, or MS4 year for Army ROTC. So theoretically, this gives ROTC applicants 4 additional years of orthodontic treatment compared to Service Academy applicants.
That's correct.
Okay. And since orthodontic treatment is about 12 to 36 months, someone who is a ROTC scholarship winner can start their orthodontic treatment, say, in their senior year of high school and not be DQ'd.
If they were to start their senior year in high school, they should be done their orthodontic treatment well before their senior year in college. If they have to go closer to their senior year of college, then something could be potentially wrong, because requiring 48 months of orthodontic treatment is just not